Okay, okay, we're trying to do a kind of a gallery here, right? So if I hit here, right, okay, so I can view different images in a gallery. And I have a previous and a next, so I can slide in left or slide in right. So how did I do that? Okay, so this is the easiest way of doing a kind of a gallery. Now, first of all, I want you to be aware that you won't find this view flipper anywhere here in the widgets or any of the palettes. All right, so we have to hard code that. Okay, so the first thing I did was make this screen. Now to make that screen, let's go into the code. So I have my two buttons there, and here's my view flipper code, which if I were you, I would just kind of paste into your project and change accordingly. This is just to do with my constraints here, and this is to do with my specific images here. Okay, and that's kind of the orders in which the images appear. All right, so you just hard code that into your XML and then position it. And that's how you'll get your view flipper onto your activity. Now, the next thing you need to be aware of is that you'll notice I have an animation folder here, which is not there by default, and I have 4 XML files. So how I created animation folder was I went new and I said Android resource directory, and then I went here and I choose animation. Okay, now I'll cancel. Right, so now then I paste it in these files. You can have a look at these files. These are standard files you can get off the internet when you want to use animation or transitions. Okay, so you can look at them at your own peril. So what happens now? So now I've got my view flipper, I've got my animation, and now I need to go back and wire up these two buttons so that it talks to the view flipper. So when I come back here, basically I declare my view flipper, I declare my two buttons, I find view by ID of both my buttons on my view flipper, and then I'm setting a non-click listener on the next button and a non-click listener on the previous button. And what actually goes on here is the view flipper has a set in animation method, and basically what I'm doing is I'm calling these slides over here, and then it goes to the next screen. So basically it should slide in from the right, slide out from the right, and then for previous it should do the opposite. So if you have a look at that, you can kind of see what's going on here. So that's basically how you could do a gallery, right? So create your animation folder, paste in those files. Uh, just be careful that when you're using the view flipper, which is the one I suggest you use just for simplicity's sake, um, I would hard code this code in and then change appropriately. And then you're just going to wire up two buttons to see what's happened. And then you can play with this and see what happens if you do it wrong. But that's how to do it. Now, I realized that if you were doing it other places, you might find that if you go into containers, view page or two is what you might use presently, but you could start off with ViewFlipper and work your way up to view page or two in time. Okay, so that's view pager.